Hello, I am Mr. Chad Hammer. I'm from Tin Oaks Middle School, and I'm here to help you with your region audition for this year, 2024. So a couple of things to talk about the auditions before we get into the music for it. Just make sure you have a few things with you. I would say one of the most important things is to have some sort of rock stop. It doesn't have to be this brand, but some sort of rock stop. We try to have them in the rooms when students go in, but just in case they don't, or if the one doesn't work, just have a backup, just have one there. Because you do not want your instrument sliding out from underneath you while you're taking your audition. That will lead to a bad audition and a bad experience for you. We don't want that. The other thing I would recommend is some sort of rag to clean your cello off with beforehand, but also to wipe your hands down with. If you get nervous, most of the time people's hands start sweating, and we don't want you sliding off the fingerboard, right, while you're trying to shift. So just bring the rag in there with you. This is the same rag that I use to wipe rosin off my strings and everything. So it kind of helps a little bit because it makes it a little bit more absorbent of the moisture anyway. So I would just recommend something like that. And speaking of rosin, as a very wise person once told me many times, rosin does not replace practice. So if you are like some of my students in class and we get to a tricky section in the music and all of a sudden everybody gets up and is like, oh, I need to rosin my bow. I can't play this because my bow's not rosined enough. You really only need to rosin if you play a long time each day, like hours, once a day. If that. If you are only playing at school for 45 minutes, you probably don't need to even rosin every day if you're doing it correctly, okay? So don't over rosin your bow, because then we just get that, right? How do you know if you need to rosin your bow? Well, if your bow is just like sliding all over the place and not barely getting any sound, then you probably need some rosin. But don't over rosin your bow. All right, let's get into the music. So you've got two scales for this audition this year, as always, and this year they are A major and A melodic minor. A major can be tricky because it has three sharps, right? F, C, and G. So that means for us, we're going to be extending on the G string and the D string. And we're also going to have some extensions when we go for the second octave going up into fifth position, right? So I know it can be a little scary to go up there if you've never played up there, you haven't played up there much. But I'm going to walk you through it. So let's talk about the scale A major first. So we start with first finger on the G string. I'm going to wipe my hands off because they feel a little bit wet. All right. And if we get a visitor coming in from outside, that is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and we always welcome his critique of our playing. So he might have a few words to say if we're lucky. All right. So we're on first finger on the G string. First finger A. Second finger on B, extended, right? On B natural, so that your fourth finger is ready to play C sharp. So, okay, now we go to open D. We're going to do the same thing on the D string. First finger on E, second finger on F sharp, fourth finger on G sharp, then open A, 1 for B, 3 for C sharp. We're going to shift now into third position and put 1 on D, 3 on E. We're going to shift again into fifth position, put 1 on F sharp, 2 on G sharp, and 3 is going to be a half step away, a little bit closer, on A. Now when you're practicing this, you can test to see if you're right by doing a harmonic on that A. Then you know you've landed on the A. I would not recommend playing the harmonic in your audition though, okay? So, and then we come down the same way. 3 on A, 2 on G sharp, 1 on F sharp, 3 on E, 1 on D, 3 on C sharp, 1 on B, open A, extended position, 4 on G sharp, 2 on F sharp, 1 on E, open D, extended fourth finger for C sharp, 2 on B, and 1 on A. tempo I usually recommend for scales is somewhere around, let's see if this is. It's a little fast, so maybe 70. Let's see what 70 sounds like. Somewhere between 60 and 70 it equals the quarter note. Yeah, that's good. Because that gives you a chance to show off if you have really good tone quality, right, on these sustained notes. If you go too fast, right, I mean, okay, you might play it in tune, you might not. You're more likely not to play it in tune if you're trying to fly through it, but we definitely don't get an idea of your tone production that way. So, if you can vibrate, I recommend vibrating on every note that you can, but otherwise, just a good tone. So set that bow in the string before you start, breathe before you start playing anything. So let's go on to the next scale, A melodic minor. A melodic minor is the relative minor of C major. So what does your key signature for C major look like? It looks like no sharps, no flats, right? Except for this is melodic minor. So going up, we have to raise the 6th and 7th notes of the scale. What does that mean? All right, so let's count. So if A is number 1, B is going to be B, the 2nd note of the scale. But then this is minor, so now we don't have the C sharp in our key signature, so it's C natural, open D, E, first finger. Here's where it gets a little weird, so we're going to raise the 6th and 7th notes, so that's F sharp and G sharp. We're raising the F natural and G natural to F sharp and G sharp. So that's our extended position again. 2nd finger on F sharp, so 4th finger can play G sharp. Open A. B, first finger. 2nd finger for C natural. Put a 1 here on D again like we did in the A major scale. 1 on D, 3rd position. 3rd finger on E. Now we're going to go to F sharp, 1st finger, 5th position again. 2 on G sharp. And 3 on A again, just like we ended the major scale. Check it with the harmonic. That's actually a little bit under, whoops. All right, so now coming down, this is what makes a melodic minor scale a melodic minor scale. You lower the 6th and 7th notes back down to their naturals, right? The key signature as it's written for A minor. So that's still 3 on A. 2 is now going to be a whole step away on G natural. 1 is going to be a whole step away from that on F natural. Then 3 is still on E. 1 is on D. Shift back to 1st position. 2 is on C. 1 is on B. Open A. Regular 4th finger for G natural. Regular 2nd finger for F natural. 1st finger E. Open D. Regular 4th finger for C natural. 3rd finger for B. And A, 1st finger. Putting it together, here's what it sounds like. Oh, don't forget to breathe. So now let's move on to our excerpts. The first one is in 3/4 time. It's a melody by Homan. It says stately at the top of the page, so I'm just making sure you're with me on the same excerpt. We've got 2 sharps in our key signature, which means we are most likely in D major. And I think we are, since we have a pickup note and then we land on the first full measure on a D. and we end on a D with an F sharp below it, which is inversion of a D major chord. So D major it is. Two sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Okay, so let's talk our way through this before I play it for you. The good news is this one doesn't go that fast. 100 is the quarter note tempo that they request. Okay, so that's not too bad, but we're not going to play with the metronome just yet, even though you will be practicing with a metronome, right? Right. All right, so we're starting on A. Now, they suggest, and I like the fingerings that are here, if you can get them in tune. Fourth finger on A, on the C string. So that is third position, and it says that Roman numeral 3.5 down there next to your forte. That's what that means. The Roman numerals below it mean what position you're supposed to play this in. Do you have to? No, but here's why it's important for this one. Because you don't want to get to the second or the first full measure and be going open D and back and forth between the D and the G string going. That's a lot, it's awkward, it's harder to get the rhythm correct, and it's just a waste of energy, right? There's too much flapping over here that we don't need to do if we can do this. 4 in third position on the C string. 2 is right there on the G string. Then you can just go 2 with a close 1 because it's C sharp, and you don't have to go back and forth between 2 strings. So that's why they have that fingering there for you. So I would suggest if you can get it in tune to follow it, but you got to get it in tune. Okay, now next, an open D so that you can shift back into first position. Make sure the E sharp, that's really just an F natural. E sharp and F natural are the same thing. So 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Replace your third finger with your first finger now on that F sharp. That's second position, 2.5. And you're gonna go 1, 2, 4. Now these two A's have dashes and dots on them. What does that mean? Well, that means, and just like the pickups at the beginning of it, that just means that there's going to be some separation in the sound, but it's not like bounced or super short. It's just there's definite space between the sound, but it's not super short. All right, and then so we're going to do a 4, 4 on those two A's. Go over to the A string. You don't have to shift. Put a 1 on C sharp. 1, 2, and then 4, 4. Stay there, 1 open. While you're playing the open string, use that as your opportunity to shift back into first position. The other thing to keep in mind in this is the bowing. Every measure almost goes down, up, either down with a long up bow slur, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up. So even the two beats 2 and 3 when it's separate on the page, not slurred all together, is still 2 ups. Down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay? Then we're gonna go tiny shift to second position. 2, 4, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And I'm not gonna talk through all these shifts. They're marked on the page, right? Now, if you're more comfortable and you're worried about intonation and you would just want to stay in first position as much as possible, you can do that, but it's not going to sound as nice because our A strings tend to blare a little bit. So, and again, there was another one of those unnecessary string crossings. But if you're more in tune that way, then go for it that way, because intonation is going to count a whole lot on your audition. All right. So, I'm talking a lot, I know, and I'm talking fast, but the beauty of this is you can rewind it and watch it back if you need to. All right, so I'm going to play this next section, all of it. A couple more things to keep in mind in here are the dynamics, okay? It starts at measure 9, forte, then 2 measures later, those pickups go to piano. So it's like an echo, then it goes back to forte, then it goes back to piano. Why am I telling you all this? It's on the page. Because I want to make sure you do it, because doing the dynamics could mean the difference in making it or not making it. What if your score is like really close with somebody else's, but you did the dynamics and they didn't? You're going to get a little bit of more points for that. There's a separate category for dynamics and musicality, in the score sheet when you go into your audition. Okay, so the dynamics count for a lot. Do them, please. Bowings really count. That's right. And the outside says do the bowing. Okay, but intonation is vital. So if you're more comfortable doing it in first position, then you can go for that. Some of it you can't because we only have an A string. We don't have an E string, so you have to go up. Anyway, here's this whole middle section starting at measure 9. Make sure you put that separation. That's why those dashes are over those 2 up bows, and they have 2 up bows marked. They still want to hear that pulse. Echo. Back down to second position. Then this is forte. Then a tiny shift to the A. 2, 4, tiny shift back. 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. Now here's where I've told some of my students they can play an open D. 4, 1, open 1, 4. Okay? That way you avoid that string crossing, and it's probably going to be more rhythmically precise and clean. Okay? Keeping going, we're echoing. So more tiny shifts there. 2, 4, shift. 3, 4 in fourth position. So go to the curve of the neck with your thumb. Third finger goes down and you should be on an F sharp. Tiny shift backwards to third position extended. 4, 2. Reaching your first finger back to D natural. And then 4. So we're in extended position there. 4, 2, 1, 2, 4. F sharp, E, D, E, F sharp. Then go over to the D string, second position, so first finger's on F sharp. 1, use the open string to shift back to first position. Open, 1, 1, 3, 1. Oh. Right, so how do we get this chord right? You break it up. Practice it separately. Go 3, 1, 4, right? We're going 3, 1, 4. That's the main melody down that scale. 3, 1, 4. Practice that until you get comfortable just doing 3, 1, 4 to the D. Rule of 3 is one of my main big rules. If you can get it right 3 times in a row, then you can move on. If you can't get it right 3 times in a row, maybe keep practicing it. All right, now that you've got 3, 1, 4 comfortable, now we're going to try just 3, 1, and then the bottom F sharp 3. This is harder. But when you're practicing the 3, 1, 4, go ahead and be putting your third finger over on the C string, even though we're not playing it yet, to get used to that feeling of putting 2 fingers down, okay? On 2 separate strings. So get comfortable. Okay, now we're going to try 3, 1, and then the F sharp. Okay, now I'm ready to put it together. And I'm kind of going really fast. You take it at whatever slow tempo you need to when you're practicing it to get it in tune and get that muscle memory locked in and in tune. Okay? Okay, so then we go on in the trio. Okay, the trio is mezzo piano, so it's quieter. And it's about the same tempo, but it just has a slightly different feel. That grace note is a fourth finger G to F sharp. It happens on the beat really quick, or right before the beat, really quick. So use that up bow with the dot to kind of do a little hop. Put a 2 on this G, 2, 4, 2, because you don't want to go. That's really a waste of energy and it sounds bad. Okay, then we do a lift on the rest. Open strings, yay, you can be really big on this. Strings have gone out a little bit. Alright, so lift, put your first finger across the D and the G string, first finger, first position, and you're going to play that. Okay, that might take some practice to get that in tune. because you really got to flatten it out. I know your teachers have spent, years now since 6th grade saying get up on your fingertips to play, but now we got to play a double stop across 2 strings, so we got to flatten that finger out in a straight line across the strings. Right, lift again, back to mezzo piano, extended 4, go up if you can. If your intonation's not so good up there, then you can go and play it all in first position. That is your choice, okay? Going up. So that's 1, 3, 1, shift back to F sharp. 4 on the G string, 1, 4 in second position, or if you're just nervous about that position, okay? Then we finish it off with those 3 double stop open strings. Okay, same thing here. More double stops that we need our fingers for. Practice them separately. Practice the first finger C sharp first. Down, up, up, down, and it poco ritardando, which means a little bit of slowing down, okay? Okay, so once you get comfortable with that 1, 1, 1, 2 on the top notes, then practice just the bottom note. That's an A, G, and F sharp. 4, 4, 2, 1. Leave your first finger down over here to practice what it's going to feel like to play both notes. That's where we do definitely have to get up on our fingertips on the C string so that we can still play the G string and have it ring. So when we put it together, after we practice 4, 4, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, get those really comfortable, you're going to put it together. 1 is on the G string, 4 is on the C string. And then play that same chord again. Leave your first finger down, lift up 4, and now you're playing 1 and 2. Then 1 and 2 are just going to trade places. So 2 is on the C string, it's going to go over to the G string to the D. 1 is going to go over to the C string to the F sharp. So we're going from this chord, trade places, but quickly. So it goes. Alright, so that is the first excerpt. I'm now going to play it for you at tempo. Okay? And I'm going to leave the metronome on. I really hope you're practicing with the metronome. And if you're not up to this tempo yet, we've still got a few weeks to go. Set little goals for yourself every day to mark that metronome up just a few clicks, and you won't even notice that you're getting faster, and then you'll be there by the audition day. So let's say you're only practicing it at like 80 right now. You've got 24 days to get it up from right now, to get it up 20 clicks. So that's, not even 2 clicks a day. So if you go for 2 clicks a day, you'll be at your goal before you know it, okay? And you won't even notice it. So here we go. This is at 100, which is the stated tempo. I'm gonna do my best to get it in tune for you on the first try here, but here we go. Remember to set your bow on the string, breathe. 1, 2, 3, count in your head before you start in that audition room. Think of a full measure or 2 with the rhythm. I like to think in my head that rhythm of the first measure to set myself up, okay? So I'm gonna think in my head, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. yeah, I did the poco ritardando there at the end, so that wasn't with the metronome there at the very end. The rest of it, I really was listening to that metronome, keeping that beat steady. Now obviously you can't play with a metronome in your audition, but practice with it. Get it really, that tempo locked into your brain, okay? One thing I didn't do well was at the trio, it's supposed to be mezzo piano there, and I forgot to do that. So if I was the one auditioning and I had forgotten to do that, I would take my pencil and I would circle it in my part to remind myself, hey, it's quiet here, because that's a very crowded section of the page, right? So there is nothing wrong with marking whatever you need to in your part to remind you of fingerings, if you've changed fingerings, bowings, if you need to make the bowings bigger, if you're just like having trouble. If I miss something in the music and it happens more than once, I definitely know I need to mark something about that music. So don't be afraid to mark something. All right, now we have to move on to our second excerpt. The Jota, the Spanish dance, it's lively. It's very lively, the tempo they would like. Here's what I'm going to say about that. If you are having a lot of trouble getting it up to 80 equals the dotted half note, that's 80 per measure, then don't. Like, as a judge, whenever I'm judging auditions, I can tell you that I would much rather hear something under tempo and play cleaner and more in tune than something frantic and a hot mess, you know, at tempo. Now that doesn't mean you can go in there and play this. That's gonna say that you're not ready for this level of music. You can't get it faster than that, okay? But here's what 80 sounds like. It's fast. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Right? If that's, don't worry about it if that's too much for you. Like, more like, maybe try this. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. That's only 72. 8 clicks slower, right? So if that's where you get to at the end of your journey before the audition on the 21st, that's where you get to, okay? Don't super stress out about the tempo so much. And don't feel like if you play it faster, that's going to be more impressive. Right? You're going to fall apart. It's going to be frantic. You're going to have to restart a bunch of things, and that could cost you a spot in the group. Okay? So don't try to push it faster. That's not going to impress the judges either. That's just going to tell them, hey, they don't know how to follow directions on the page. Okay? Same thing with the first excerpt. Okay, so let's talk through this one. I won't take as long on this one, but follow these fingerings, okay? They're good fingerings. Key change, 2 flats now. So we're going to be reaching back for B flats and E flats. We're going to be playing second fingers on the G string, right? We're going to be playing second fingers on the D strings. Now we have F naturals. Second fingers on the A string. Now we have C naturals. So it's a key change. Get your mind in that key, okay? So I'm going through a little slower right now. So just remember to reach back for that B flat. Now slight shift to 4th finger E flat. 1, 1, 3, 4. There's a few little quick shifts in there. When you lift the bow, shift back to first position. Lift. Shift up to 1. Okay, now this part right here is probably the trickiest rhythm in both excerpts, really. Okay, so listen to it one time. So this is measure 18, 17, 16, beats 2 and 3 going into measure 17. So we've been holding that B flat, lift, no that wasn't in tune, I'm sorry, lift. Listen to it again. This is the same measure. We're holding the B flat. 1, 2, 3, 1. 2, 3, 1. Right? And the bowing's a little bit tricky. Down, up, down, down, up, down. Use that up slur into the dotted, the staccato dotted A as like a launch, right? That's part of the lively Spanish dance feel of it. Now don't fly the bow way up and be out of control, right? So just a little, make sure it's short. We need to know it's short. Lift. Notice the dashes on these pickups when these phrases start. They're different than the dotted notes. So the dotted notes we're going, the dash notes we're going in the string, bigger bows, right? And then this dance is long, short, short, long, short, short. Okay, so thankfully it comes back like the beginning, so that part you already know. But now we have a bigger shift to third position to F natural, so it's an F to an F octave shift. So here's how I practice shifts, slowly. I practice them in both directions. Then once I'm done, and why am I sliding like that? You might be like, why is he sliding? That slide is letting my ear know when I hit the note and when to stop. So that's building that muscle memory into the shift. I take the slide out once we go back into playing it for an audition. Alright, but by then I've built that muscle memory in. Okay, so what does that look like if I play the whole line starting at 33? That was a little bit sharp. I'm going to do it again. Okay, so the ending there, down, up, up, down. We want to get the bowing right. We have accents on these notes, and they're short. So let's not worry about shifting as well. Let's get into position, fourth position. Thumb is at the curve, 2 goes down on B flat, and you can just stay there. 2, 4, 1, 4. Just like it's marked, that's what it means. One less thing to worry about if you don't have to shift all around. Okay, so I know that was a lot, and when I was practicing that shift, normally my rule is 3 times to get it right. I went on after I got it right on the second try, just for saving time purposes, but I would go back and make myself get it right 3 times in a row before I'd let myself go on if I was practicing this for reals. All right, so here's the whole jota, lively Spanish dance. I'm gonna play it a little under tempo, and then I'll go back and play it at 80 for you. So this is like 70. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Shift and got there a little bit late. I'm going to go back anyway and play it again up to tempo. One thing I forgot to mention on those long tied notes, the half notes tied over the bar line to the quarter notes, don't cut them off early. I've heard people go. That's not correct. You're adding rests that aren't there. It's got to be. 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so you got to hold them out and do the retake at the last minute. All right, so now I'm going to go for it at tempo, 80. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Remember to set your bow on the string. Breathe before you start playing. Since I'll be counting out loud, I'll have to take a really quick breath, but normally I would go, right, okay? But that, we want to set our bow, okay? So I'm going to wipe that excess rosin off the strings, okay? And you can do that in your audition. In between these excerpts, wipe those strings off if you need to, if you feel like it's getting sticky. It's your audition. Do what you need to do. All right. But remember, you can't talk in the audition. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Kept it with the metronome there. Practice with that metronome. It's going to be your best friend when it comes to keeping steady tempo. All right, that was a lot. That was a long video. Hopefully it all recorded, otherwise I'm going to lose my mind if it didn't. I go and see it didn't record. Mr. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is ready for his dinner, so I'm going to say goodbye, good luck on your audition, and have a great school year.